When you hear $1 million homes, immediately you think, oh, that's my future. That's my future home. And it could be if you've got the right real estate agent. Now, this woman has had her face literally plastered all around Barbados, but for all the best reasons. Today, my guest on the Pivot series is Cherita Odell of $1 Million Homes, real estate agent extraordinaire, and dare I say, property mogul. I'm just going to put it out there in the atmosphere and she can back me up. How are you, Cherita?
I am good. Pleasure to be with you. And I felt so honored when you called me and wanted me to be a part of the series.
Well, I thought to myself, who else though? To be perfectly honest, when you talk about making a pivot, you would have made a pivot.
Yes.
Which is definitely what we're going to get into where the show is concerned. But first, I thought for your memory's sake and for the entertainment of our audience, do you remember how we actually first met?
I know it was at school, in secondary school, but I can't remember the details.
So the details were as follows.
Oh gosh.
I would have effectively missed the first day of school, going through, paper transfers, et cetera, et cetera. You did not miss the first day of school. So you know how that is when you establish your territory. This is where I'm sitting. This is who I'm sitting beside.
Correct.
This is it. Well, I got there on the second day of school and the only empty seat was yours.
Really?
Because apparently, poor dear, you had an asthma attack.
So
you were home the second day of school.
What?
So they said, well, just sit here and we'll sort it out tomorrow. They did not sort it out the next day. So I sat there again. And all I could see is this tall, never-ending figure coming towards me, looking down on me. And she said, you're in my
Oh my gosh. You sure that was me?
Oh, it was you. It was you, Cherita. And I thought, yeah, about that. So they had to get that sorted. And then by default, I ended up sitting beside you for the rest of the year.
Everything for a reason. Everything for a reason.
Everything for a reason. So I thought, well, you know what? Sometimes you got to make a pivot, even as early as third form.
It's true,
to make this work. So could you imagine you're being in school and you're picking your subjects and you're thinking about my future. What was Cherita's future looking like then?
Oh gosh. To be honest with you, I was one of those children that my future was about, you know what? First of all, let me just make it out of school with subjects that I can pass in. So whereas we were at a school where people were thinking I want to be the next lawyer, the next doctor, I was like, I don't know where Spanish, French, and math at A levels are going to get me, but those are the best ones that I'm good at. Let me just start with the little things. Let me get through school. And the rest would fall into place afterwards. That was literally my thinking.
But then you were also an elite athlete.
Ooh.
So now you have Spanish, French, math, and running shoes.
Good point,
So,
good point.
like, where was athletics going to fit into this scenario?
Well, the beauty of track and field in my life is that it helped me get to the next level in terms of a full athletic scholarship. And Rice University, when I got there, they said that you did not have to declare your major until the second year.
Oh.
They understood that 18 and 19-year-olds might not know what they want to do for the rest of their life.
They don't know what they want to eat. Like, what are you talking about?
So that helped me. I said, you know what? I like something related to business and I can speak Spanish. So let's do a double major in business and Spanish. And at some point in time, the rest would fall into place. That was my thinking. Always something will fall into place. Just do, just be, and it will happen.
So it sounds to me like faith has pretty much been the common thread throughout whatever you were doing. Faith, like, listen, I don't know what's going on today, but this might fall into place tomorrow.
Yes. I grew up in the church from young, was not the most saved, sanctified person during university, as most people are not. But faith was always a fundamental in my life. So I always believe from early, step out. And if this is for you, it will happen. If it is not, it will not. As plain and simple as that. But when you step out boldly.
Right.
And you will know in seconds or minutes or days if you are going in the wrong direction.
And if you are, turn around.
Correct. Correct. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. And I think that's what a lot of us do. But sometimes just step and see where it takes you.
Now, Rice University not only took you on an athletic scholarship, girl, you represented Barbados at the Olympics.
Yes,
you will never forget the Summer Games of 1996.
Listen, that was a pivotal moment in my life. Qualifying for the Olympics, I actually qualified out of anger. My coach had made me, through my fault, I missed a meeting. And because of that, I was not allowed to go to Hollywood, where there was a track meet. I was irate, to say the least. However, at the next track meet, I was so angry that I just jumped out of venom. Then to hear you have qualified for the Olympic Games, I was like, wow.
How do I stay angry?
Oh my God. I mean, it was phenomenal to qualify, but then tragedy. Imagine being at the highest and lowest point of your life at the same exact time.
Unbelievable.
You know, so I made it to the Olympics in Atlanta. What people don't realize, to keep yourself fresh before the actual event, you have a practice meet just days before your event.
Mm-hmm.
I went there. I was the last jumper to go down the runway. Shortly before me, it started raining like cats and dogs. Okay, so there's a rule there that we are not getting off the track until we see lightning. So this is not the Beijing thing where, oh shoot, is a little rain, run into the stands. No, you keep competing.
Right.
And they said that they would shut down the meet after me. They would shut down my event after me. I ran, I took off, the board was wet, I slipped, I tore my right hamstring in 3 places.
Oh.
Top, bottom, and middle. And it was almost to reinforce that you cannot get healed up in time to do the live thing.
Not enough strapping available.
No. So we did everything. We did every treatment, every therapy possible, everything. And listen, I always tell people, I know what it is to run out of tears. When you cry for 2 days, yeah, they dry up. They dry up. The 48 hours of constant crying,
oh man,
they do dry up. And the toughest part about it is, how do you call your parents and explain that? That was harder to me than the actual injury itself. How do I call them and explain, yeah, mommy, daddy, I can't go on because. So to build up for that was painful, but every cloud has its silver lining.
Mm-hmm.
While I was there and hopping around in the village, there were some missionaries. And they identified me from afar as the poor, pitiful, pathetic little thing that they needed to give a Bible to.
She needs prayer.
Yeah, she needs Jesus. She needs Jesus. They rushed at me with that Bible. And, I took it happily. And the joke is, that is my Bible to this day. And I always believe everything for a reason. They went to no one else in the group of agents.
Wow.
They came straight for me. And that event has been the core of my life, in the sense that when you get to that point where you have a high and a low at the same time, it takes a lot to topple you after that. It takes a lot to phase you, intimidate you,
right,
bother you, and get you depressed after that, because that took the cake for me.
Because you lived a dream and a nightmare in the same instant.
Yes, in the same breath.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So we have finally recovered from the emotional scarring of the Olympics, but at least you're still an Olympian.
Yes.
They can't take that from you.
At Terrific Tiles, we totally understand all of our customers' needs.
Whether you decided you redone your bathroom
or looking to tile your entire home,
our service is guaranteed to give dream results.
It's a terrific time to win a $5,000 shopping spree this Christmas. When you spend $200 or more, you're in with a chance to win. Plus, you can win Farmer's Choice hams and other amazing prizes daily. Let our helpful and friendly staff help give your home the terrific upgrade it deserves. Terrific Tiles. Great prices, great service, great selection.
So, what did you go into next? Like, what was the next step going to be for you?
Well, like most university graduates, I came home, sent out 1,000,001 1,000,001 applications, all to hear as, well, thank you for your thing, but we'll keep you on file.
Yes.
And I did get a couple interviews finally, and my first job started as a management trainee at At the time, it was Accra Beach Hotel on the South Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great training ground for, I enjoyed it to the core because it was perfect for somebody like me who just was. Like, you know, I was not going to be the banker. I was not going to be the front desk manager. Up until then, I was still knowing, okay, we're doing something with business and we can use the Spanish somehow. And it was the perfect environment for those business skills, leadership skills, HR skills to grow, and also the marketing skills as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was grateful for the first 2 years, which was just training. I trained in every single department, every single one. I knew how to fold sheets and prepare rooms. I was walking about with the maintenance team, fixing, plumbing issues. And I was the chef, dropping your fish cakes in time for the manager's cocktail party.
Right.
So I had the full scope of things and I loved it because that was who I was. I was always a multitasker at heart.
Wow. So that's like the full gamut.
Yes.
In one set of training.
Love
and they're
it.
paying you to do it.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing at all. So business is at the core. I'm assuming some measure of marketing is also at the core.
Mm-hmm.
So you're thinking, okay, I feel like I found my thing. This
Yes.
is my footing.
Yes. So then I was actually made to be sales manager. My job was to put butts in beds and fill the hotel. My job was to come up with creative ideas from a marketing standpoint to attract people to the hotel. And also to travel and rope in the travel agents and stuff and convince them this is the hotel to send your people to.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Because what I liked about it too, I was not held captive by rules and regulations. I was just told, get the people here.
Right?
So it was up to me then to, do my thing, introduce it to the general manager. And for the most part, he was for a lot of my ideas. So I sat down in management meetings, seeing the fruit of my labor, literally hearing, okay, well, the hotel is bringing in X amount of people this year and we've made a profit of Y.
Right.
But that's when my heart started feeling, wait a minute, I've done all this. I'm hearing our profit is X amount of, lots of dollars, lots of zeros behind those dollars. And my salary is what?
Right. It's kind of like puttering along.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so as much as I love the job, I kept saying to myself, but how do I climb higher? Because there's a ceiling above me in the sense that, as the sales manager, I was my own department, so to speak.
Right.
The only thing after this was the general manager's job. I didn't necessarily want that level of responsibility. So is my salary going to stay at this for the rest of my life? And I felt kind of restrained by that.
Mm-hmm.
That no matter what I did, I would always collect X dollars on the 25th or 26th of the month.
Right.
And that was it. And my heart started to kind of want more. So that's when, even on the side, I was always that Monopoly player, right? I always wanted the hotels and the houses and whatever. So I'm like, okay, how are we going to do this? So guess what? I dug up my skills. I could teach swimming. I taught swimming to babies and adults. Yes. I got marketing skills. Let's use marketing consultancy to help with, back then I did a little stint with Barbados Music Awards.
Oh, yes.
Yes, helped to do some sales and advertising for them. What else can I do? What else? I'm a good typist.
Good typist.
Listen
I
to me.
love it.
And before the era of the laptops, when everybody had a laptop, UB students needed their papers typed.
That is correct.
For $4 a page, I will do it for you. And if you pay me $10, I will get it to you express. So I was, harnessing all my skills to have stuff on the side to supplement my lovely hotel career.
Mm-hmm.
But the desire that, look, to do the things I want to do in this life, I need more.
You need more.
I need more, and I need to feel soul satisfied. It's one thing to work for somebody, but I want to do this for myself. Like, we sitting down in meetings and you getting all of this. How much profit? And I still here? What if we were to flip the tables and I start to make that kind of profit for myself? So that curiosity always drove me.
Esquimalt. Value, convenience, we got it. 50 stores and services, yeah, we got it all. When it comes to you and your family, it's here in Haggett Hall. Style, food, court, this mall has it all.
So at this stage in your movement,
Mhm.
you have been traveling to make sure you got people into the hotel, basically satisfying your mandate of putting butts in beds.
Mhm.
And you're having a grand time doing it until you realize that the qualities that you have brought to the job, which actually net real profit, the requisite profit is not coming back to you. So most people would have either decided, well, I'm going to work harder, I'm going to sell more, I'm going to bargain for more. But you actually made a pivot where you started to supplement your income doing other things.
Yes.
But eventually you knew that all the supplementing in the world was not going to get you what you needed, and you made another move.
Correct.
Tell us about that.
So I must say, I love my experience at Accra. It will, that was the job that you couldn't beat it in terms of that family feel. I had an overall great experience, so I can't knock that at all. However, I was hungry. And one day I came across an ad for luxury condos in, I think it was like one of the property magazines or something. And I recognized the name on the ad. She was one of my colleagues who had traveled with me to a hotel show. And I remember calling her and saying, hey, well, what do we have to do to get a job like this? Because it was going to blend hotel world and marketing with selling of real estate, which looked pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And she said, Cherita, it's interesting that you called. I've actually resigned. And they need someone to fill the post. Okay. Hello?
Opportunities.
I know. I was like, okay, all right. And I sent in an application, and I still had to go and earn my spot. I still had to go and convince them that I could do the job and so forth. And I went over to that organization, and it was up my alley. It involved multiple things. When you're hyper like me, you need many things to keep you engaged. And that was the beauty of it. I had to market 2 4-star hotels, a hotel that was about to turn into a condo hotel, luxury condominiums, and chicken and eggs. So it was so funny because when other hoteliers and tour operators saw my email address come in, and the email address was indicative of the chicken and eggs part,
right.
they were royally confused.
It's like, I'm sorry, what?
But I enjoy that as well because I was doing things. I was, one day I was called upon, look, we're about to take over a hotel, and you know what? We need you to be acting general manager. Yeah, we're going tomorrow to the meeting. So, Cherita, this is your staff. Hi, okay. But I like that kind of challenge because that type of adrenaline rush drove me. I get off on that.
Okay.
And then trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to get this done? And from there, though, I think the turning point for me was realizing the luxury condominium project, which had 16 units for sale. By the time they got to the 9th unit, I was like, wait a minute. All of these sales are coming through me. And once again, my salary is what?
Flatline.
And through that media of selling the property, I met a lot of real estate agents. And guess what? I had to write the letters between them and the attorneys. I was doing the bulk of the work. And then at the end, they were getting commission and I was getting my standard salary. I was like, somebody's getting tricked and the fool is me. So that's what got my mind ticking. Once again, Cherita, you need to do more. Yeah, you need to do more. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck. And that's when I said, you know what? Let me go out and learn what this real estate thing is about. And for the benefit of the organization, I asked them, please, can you assist in me going to this course? I think it will benefit the organization in knowing more about real estate. And they did. I built that knowledge. And while I was doing it, once again, something kept driving me. You know what? Start an agency, but you have a job. So why not call it $1 Million Homes?
Okay.
Yeah, you just need one sale per year.
Yeah.
The name alone states, don't come to me unless you want a certain caliber of property.
Right.
So you're not going to get calls left, right, and center. You're dealing with the luxury market now for this organization, so it isn't anything foreign to you. Let's do it.
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it. And in so doing, I remember calling a website designer and telling him, you know, I want to have a website with, you know, to promote luxury property and so forth. And he started working on it. And then he said, okay, Cherita, so just send me over the properties that we're going to put on the website.
Properties with the best.
Properties? Well, I don't have any now, but I'm sure that when you're finished, I'll have some. Listen to me. I found one property. I marketed the bejesus out of that one property. That property was splashed in every single magazine you could find. It was the premier property. And people were like, wow, she does this company has come out of nowhere. They're doing brilliant advertising. Wow, she really gives her exclusive listings, you know, that presence. We need to use her.
Okay.
And off of that one property, that's how I then started building momentum. And things picked up from there.
But this is still your side hustle.
Yes.
Because you have a job.
Yes. True. And the thing about it is, I made sure I was upfront with my boss at the time. You know, nobody felt threatened by little old me with her little old website with her one property.
With her one property.
Right? So I was not anything to worry about. But then guess what? That property sold. And all of a sudden, and the joke is, before the property sold, I decided to change my car into a little speed demon of a vehicle which looked a little too fancy.
Oh.
And they felt that it was because of the sale, that I was doing sales. And from that perception, my whole experience on that job changed. People have heard about hostile work environment. I've lived it.
Oh.
It is the most intense thing you could ever imagine. When you're waking up, your neck is stiff, your chest is tight, because you know that you're going to a place where you are not embraced any longer. Because as far as the perception is, you've got a little too above yourself, young upstart. Young female upstart, sitting in the corner, who wasn't troubling anybody before, but now
you're ruffling
feathers.
feathers.
Now you're going a little too fast. And that hostile work environment happened for a while, and I had to make a decision. And what was the defining moment for me, because remember, I still had all my little side hustles, keeping me happy. But the moment for me which transformed my life, the more hostile it got, I said, you know what, let me just type up a little resignation letter here, keep it in my bag with that space for the date open, just in case things turn funny, because nobody's firing me for nothing.
Right.
You know, I will be the person to leave on my own terms. And one day I got a call into the office. Remember, I'm teaching swimming. I am on the marketing committee of the Amateur Athletic Association, helping market track and field, a non-paid job. I am doing typing, my little typing job at night. I am helping doing some marketing consultancy. Everything I did was outside working hours. However, I got a call into the office one day, and I was told, and I knew things were taking a turn when I saw like a board member or something sitting behind me. I'm like, what's going on here? The hotels are filled. You know, the retail side of chicken and eggs are doing well. Life is going great. Luxury condos are in motion. Last performance appraisal, I got a fantastic review. So what's going on here? And these are the words that I heard that changed me forever. Cherita, look, we're under the impression that you're just doing a little too much. So we would like you to, you know, just write a letter divorcing yourself from all external activities. Sorry, I don't understand. You mean the extracurricular activities that I do afterward? Look, we just want you to write a letter divorcing yourself from all external activities so that you can focus on our work. And at that point in time, I was confused, I was perplexed, I was like, what is going on? But I heard a gentle whisper, and I know my master well. And that whisper simply said, this chapter is closed. All right, I'll write you a letter. Give me until tomorrow. And at that point in time, unbeknownst to them, I went and packed up all my stuff. I went and downloaded all my files. I went and took out everything that was necessary to me. And I took out my little dusty old resignation letter. Came back the next morning with it completed, and I submitted that. Cherita isn't stupid. What I did too, I said, you know what, this could get ugly. Let me call in the 2 office gossips and give them my exclusive story. I called them in one by one, give them the exclusive, the full rundown on everything that happened, because I knew when I left that organization, I would need people to fight my battle and share what was the truth.
Right.
And lo and behold, that that handing over of the resignation letter, let's say, happened at 9 o'clock, 9:30 in the morning. And then all of a sudden by 12, I got a call. You know what? Thanks for your 1 month's notice and everything, but it would be good if you leave right now. No problem, that's fine. Let me just go and say bye to everybody and thank you for everything. And that is how I closed out that chapter. And I remember saying to, the senior management, you know what? When you know who you are and whose you are, you fear no one and life will be great. Sayonara.
So Cherita, according to your story, once again, we are out flying on faith.
Yes.
So what is happening now? What is going through your head? Because now the reality must have set in. I resign.
I know. But listen, I mean, that might not have been as easy for people to do, but I sat down and I weighed the pros and cons. Number one, I said, you know what? I need to feel soul satisfied and I'm not feeling it here. Number two, let's look at some physical realities. There are standpipes all around the island. I will have water to drink. We have mangoes, coconuts, lots of fruit trees. I will find something to eat. Even if my money whittles down to zero, physically I can survive. My mother still loves me. I have a roof over my head. My needs will be met. So once I established that I could make it on that basic human needs level.
Right.
And I wasn't too proud either if push came to shove to go out in the cotton fields, because I had beautiful hats that I had never worn. Go out in the cotton fields, albeit it would have been with my latex gloves. I could have picked cotton if need be. I think once I established those fundamentals, I knew I was going to be all right. Because money was not the driving force for me. Peace of mind, soul satisfaction, and just staying alive. Those three things were looking as if they were going to work. So yeah,
okay,
I was good.
But eventually, we did still have a website that we had to build. A web designer who's thinking, I still have one problem here, Cherita. And, and you still have this incredible ability to put people in homes.
Yes.
Or put them on their dream land. So what are we going to do with this talent?
Well, little by little, I mean, the thing is, I must be honest and say I tapped back to 1 or 2 jobs simply because, society made you feel you need an income. You're not seriously just planning to work on your little website and hope it, so I tapped back for 1 or 2 jobs just to get the basic income to have gas and so forth. But that real estate business was my focus. And the beauty of word of mouth, things started to build. I started to get little apartments and enough money would come in to keep the bank account just hovering above zero.
We're afloat-ish.
Right. So when I was like, we're good. Yes. And so in that I was happy. I knew that I was not going to reach any mega status anytime soon, but the bank account had not gone below zero. So sometimes I would have to balance. Okay, do we take this $500 and put it into an ad, or do we? You know what? Let's put it into an ad. And that ad might turn into a rental of $1,400. Okay, you know what? I just need X amount of that to pay my life insurance, put the rest into another ad. And I had to make those types of decisions until the website started to grow, inquiries started to grow, and little by little that started to pick up. But don't be fooled, real estate is a numbers game. So imagine that would have gone on for a while. Imagine thinking that I was about to have a big sale and it would set me free, and then recession. Ooh. And what was hovering went down even lower and lower. And you're like, oh, there, we're about to run out of money, but keep going. And, you know, it was literally like God providing for the Israelites. Manna would show up just on time.
Just on time. Just when you need it.
So whenever that bank account was about to tap out, money would come. Fill it, replenish it, and little by little, the business was evolving. It was growing. People were knowing me. But the big challenge I had, how in a recession are you going to come with the name $1 Million Homes and still get smaller properties? So that's when I had to pivot. I had to say, you know what? Let me register another name that caters to the whole demographic of the island. Barbados Real Estate 246 was born. So that when I put stuff out there, you know, I could achieve sales without having the luxury grandeur hanging over my head.
Right. Which is a very niche market.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then other decisions I had to make. I spent a lot of money trying to convince people to either go through $1 Million Homes or Barbados Real Estate. And then one day it hit me, but people know you, Cherita. People know you from whether it's into school sports or being on the radio or in some other capacity, they know you, Cherita. So I was like, you know what? Let me just put the name Cherita out there in my picture, lest they get confused that it's someone else. And of course, you know, your mother, your family, your friends, you can put your picture out in public. You know, you can try. You know, we're taught in Barbados to dumb it down.
Yeah, temper yourself.
But I was like, look, this is my thing. I am going for it. And I started creating signs with my picture. And from that, people recognizing, Cherita, why I didn't know you was in real estate? I got a house here for you to sell. And all of a sudden, people who knew me as me give me their properties to market for them. And then, so we then had another trajectory and things kept going from there.
So looking back now, do you think you would have done anything differently in terms of building your business and how you went about building your business?
That is a very interesting question. And I would say this. Part of business and being where I am is doing things exactly as I did them. And learning through those experiences what not to do again. You know, learning, you could only do it by trial and error. So I had to go through certain things in order to know what you don't want, what never to do again. So, and even in that, so it's kind of hard. And any entrepreneur would tell you that most of what doesn't work out is still necessary for your growth. So to say that you wouldn't do it would probably be cheating you from really evolving.
You wouldn't learn anything from it.
Correct.
Right.
A lot of the failures that you experience in business help to define you and shape you into the success that you're aiming to be. And no reading of a book, no hearing it from somebody else could get you into that unless you go through it for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, speaking of which, what would you offer in terms of advice for any entrepreneur who's either looking to make the pivot themselves or telling themselves, I too need soul satisfaction. I too need some fulfillment on my own. Not everyone is in a position
Agreed.
to resign.
Agreed.
And other people, it's like, what are you waiting for?
I know. I agree. What I would say is this though. Number one, start with a serious introspection. What are you happiest doing? That sometimes people brush off. Are you happiest painting? Are you happiest baking that sweet bread? Because I firmly believe it's the gifts and talents and passions that God deposits in us that are to get us into the zone. What is the zone? That sweet spot, that destiny, that purpose that He has ordained for you. And many times we take what was meant to get us there and stroke it as our little hobby.
Right.
Our little side piece. You know, we are so driven into believing that, you know, getting $2,000, $4,000, $10,000 a month is success.
Yeah.
We've made it. I'm in a job where I see a lot of people unhappy because they're getting those big salaries. They have the big house that we were told to pursue, but they're nowhere in alignment with what their soul wants them to do. So I would say pay attention to what your strengths are, what you genuinely like to do. Don't necessarily do like me and go cold turkey and just dive in, but start setting up a plan. Even if you have a job, use that job to start funding your passion. Use that job to start filtering some money off to the side. Trust me, there will come a point where you know it's time to push off in that direction. Or thanks to episodes like COVID, you will be jump kicked in that direction. So that's what I would say. Pay attention to what satisfies your soul above and beyond what just pays the bills. Use the bill paying gig to help set you up.
An incredible story of faith, stepping out on it, learning from it, and being guided by it. If that does not say pivot right there at the core, I don't know what does. Thank you so much for joining us again today. We had Cherita Odell, real estate agent, mother, wife, and of course, adventurer in life generally. Make sure that you join us for our next installment of the Pivot series, where we continue to watch bold female entrepreneurs make the necessary steps to live their dreams.
At Terrific Tiles, we totally understand all of our customers' needs.
Whether you decided you're redoing your bathroom
Or looking to tile your entire home.
Our service is guaranteed to give dream results.
It's a terrific time to win a $5,000 shopping spree this Christmas. When you spend $200 or more, you're in with a chance to win. Plus, you can win Farmer's Choice hams and other amazing prizes daily. Let our helpful and friendly staff help give your home the terrific upgrade it deserves. Terrific Tiles, great prices, great service, great selection.